stolid crown arches over the Puget Sound. Berenice's hair drapes the horizon to Where is my lucky star tonight? Seventh sister of the Pleiades walks in beauty like the night. Oh, that is best, dark and now lost to me.
Please check out the Night Dreams Talk Radio website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Also, if you want to keep our show free of advertising, just hit the donate button. Give $1 or $2. Remember, all prior shows are always free to listen to. We at Night Dreams Talk Radio thank you for your support.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And thank you.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Well, here it is, Tuesday. I'll tell you, last night, Terry Lovelace talking about his abduction. Last night I didn't even go to sleep. I just sat there and was answering email after email all night long. I'll tell you what, we got him coming back on, I think, around the 20th of December. I tell you, he has a lot to say. He has a lot more to say. We just don't have enough time. He would be a guest. It could take up, all 4 hours of the show, 2 nights in a row. Just to talk about what all happened, because we still really haven't touched what happened to him after the military police got done investigating it, and then the guys in the suits came and talked to him, and then gave him, a drug to try to find out if he was lying or not. And then we didn't even find out what happened to his career after that. Did he want to stay in the Air Force longer? So we got to get him back on and find out all this stuff. I tell you what, is the most involved, open conversation I've ever had of a abductee ever. You know that, James?
Gary, I got to tell you, when I first heard his story, and it was only a 10, 15-minute segment about a month ago, I was blown away. And it takes a lot to blow me away, because I have seen and did and heard just about everything. And I was like, wow. So, every time he comes on, we learn something more. And I tell you, it's one of those interviews, and there's very rare of them, that's got me on the edge of the seat every time. Like, it's really intense, and it's meat and potatoes, and it's good stuff, and we always learn something new every time. And there is a lot more. Like, I know some that I've heard that he hasn't said yet. I'm not going to say, let him tell it, but there's some good stuff coming, and stuff we both don't know yet. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, me too. And also, when Calvin Parker comes on here, I think next week, I got some extra questions, because he got to be with Calvin Parker for a few days also, and got to know Calvin Parker real well. So I got to ask Calvin, after his encounter, I didn't even know this because he never even brought it up. He went from job to job to job after that encounter of his abduction. In some cases, according to Terry, that Calvin Parker didn't even hang around to get paid. He just took off. So something was going on there, that it really affected him.
Oh, yeah, it affects you psychological, and it's still affecting all of them psychologically with PTSD or whatever it may be, because, even Calvin said it himself, and he said it, to quote him, he said, the physical pain eventually goes away. It's the mental and the anguish. It stays with you a long time. I mean, a long time. And it's stressful.
Well, yeah, considering he got rid of his house and got a trailer for a while, and was living in a trailer, didn't want to be confined to a house. Because, again, a lot of these people, well, it's like Terry said last night, he keeps a gun next to his bed just in case something happens with a high-powered flashlight, because he is, anticipating that maybe he's going to be abducted again, and he's not going to go through it again. He's not going to go through the pain and the suffering. And, even he mentioned, when I mentioned that we got a guest that's coming on that claims when they were abducted, they were taken in a huge room aboard the spacecraft, and there was gurney or whatever these metal tables are they had these people on. Table after table after table with humans on it. Now, one thing Terry mentioned, too, there was a group of people, naked, holding their clothes, remember, in their arms, and crying and screaming and pain and all this stuff. Well, they evidently weren't released. They were kept aboard, where Terry and his buddy were, let go. It tells you that maybe these people that were left in the spacecraft after he was abducted, well, maybe they're going to wherever they go. We don't know what happens to them, but they must be some of the vanishing people. And we're talking to men, women, and children.
Right. And they got to go somewhere, and that's very plausible. There's been several of abductees that have claimed to see big rooms full of people like that. I'm not sure if Travis did, but I think he maybe. I'm not sure, but there's been other ones, and the craft that he's seen, it was so big, and there's been a couple instances like that of other sightings from other people that kind of corroborate that same kind of a sighting. Another sighting he talked about there when they seen the craft that let off that plume and had that like film around it. That same kind of craft actually was filmed, I think, in either Chile or Brazil in the early to mid 2000s. There's a video on that one. He described that one. I'm just curious if, and it would be great if Terry could find somebody with all the people that was abducted that day. If he could find somebody that was abducted the same day he was that came back. Wouldn't that be something if they were on the same, to figure out they were on the same ship at the same time?
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like the other people were in the situation where they're going to be returned. I mean, evidently the craft kind of hung around where he was, taken and returned him right at the same spot. These other people weren't taken that area and evidently weren't returned. Now, are they going to be used for, who knows what they're using them for? Are they using the bodies to collect DNA, the whole body? All the tissue, all the bones, and extracting DNA for some reason? Or are they being, processed for Soylent Green type of situation for food? We don't know. But I can tell you, Terry was more outspoken than anybody right off the bat. Evil. They're not friendly towards humans. He got nothing but bad vibes from them. No orbs. No, nothing made him, like, they're here to, help us. No, they're not. And I've been saying that for how long? And people get mad at me. I do get some fan mail that they say, I wish I would shut up about that one thing. But I just don't think they're here to be friendly with us. If they were, they would be saying, hey, James, would you like to come on board and we'll show you what our spaceship looks like inside. We'll tell you how it works. We'll let you see all this stuff. But in return, we want to collect some DNA from you. It won't hurt you. We'll be gentle. And, they don't do that, do they?
No, they don't. And, another subtle but scary part to this story that I find very startling is his own military, government, or whatever they were, they knew about it. They already knew. Because remember he said how they came there and they knew that he had seen it at a sighting or whatever. They already knew. So that's kind of scary. It tells you they already know what's going on, and they kind of act, haphazardly, like, nonchalantly, like they know what's going on. That's scary in its own right. And another thing about this, if these vehicles can come and go in or near or around nuclear facilities or military bases, and the military don't think that is a national threat or security or national security threat, then what is?
I don't know. The whole thing is really scary.
Absolutely, the whole scenario. Anything that mimics something or tries to make you not think something is something else, that is nefarious, that's negative, that's not being honest, and I don't care how you church that up, it's still not right.
No, and that's the whole point. It scares me. What is going on? And that's, hopefully we'll even find out more tonight with Tom. But I tell you, the stuff we hear, it scares me.
It is scary, and it's so repetitive. There are so many people out there. That's what's mind-boggling. It's not one or two isolated cases. There's thousands of people, and for every thousand there is, Lord knows how many thousands of people that don't come forward and say anything, and then the other thousands that don't have a chance to say anything because they never come back.
That's the whole problem. How many of them don't come back? That is the point. There's evidently, 30 to 50,000 people are vanishing? We don't know where they're going. They're certainly not going to San Diego, or they're certainly not going to Florida. They're just vanishing off the face of the earth with no trace. And again, I stress, if you really think that these people, or humanoids from these planets, wherever they're coming from, are here to help us, they haven't done anything. I haven't seen anything where they helped us. They haven't. They haven't. They haven't figured out how to, end hunger. They haven't done how to stop the weather, climate changes. They haven't done anything to help us, have they? They haven't given us longer life. They haven't even got rid of our common cold. So what are they here for?
Right, that's a good question. I'd love to hear what Mary's got to say. I'm sure she's got a lot of new reports since the last time we've talked to her, I'm sure. And she's told us before, there's stuff going on, at least in her area, that reports of not so very nice stuff, of what these beings are doing.
Oh, yeah. Now, when Mary's on, we're not going to be talking about UFOs with her. We're going to be talking about her new book on Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
Just to let you know.
Well, I'll be looking forward to that, too. And that's another thing, these big feet. Again, I don't think they're aliens. I don't know. I just think they're some kind of an offshoot from us that maybe, and I think aliens abduct them too. Who's to say they're not?
I don't know. What do you think about people that go out with a camera and get pictures of Bigfoot, little people, and portals on a regular basis? Every time they go out, they get pictures. Do you find that kind of strange?
It's very strange or very lucky. I got to tell you, kind of reminds me of those people. There's a TV show. I won't say who they are, but they go out and they build these traps, and every week they catch this Bigfoot, or they see them and they chase them, and every week, but they always get away. But yeah, you're very blessed. I see a lot of stuff, but I don't want to see this stuff. Not Bigfoot. I might have seen one 35 years ago. I don't know. I can't even say it was. I know if it wasn't, it was about an 8-foot, 3-foot wide man in the middle of a field on a thunderstorm about midnight in the middle of nowhere. But I can't even say it was. I don't know. But yeah, that's very fortunate. I don't know how to explain that one.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I just can't believe you could go out every single time and get a picture of Bigfoot or portals or little people or strange stuff every single time you go out. I mean, even if you were blessed and they wanted to communicate with you, I just can't see every time that happening. So I don't know. But everybody has their own views and they can interpret what they want. I just find, we got to start separating, which is factual and what isn't factual.
Yeah, and that's even in